Imagine standing in an empty warehouse with just a few shelves, a handful of products, and only $8,000 left to your name. Your family thinks you've made the biggest mistake of your life. Your friends tell you to find another job before it's too late. Bills are piling up, customers are scarce, and failure feels closer every single day. Most people would have quit. Daniel Carter didn't. His journey wasn't built on luck, wealthy investors, or overnight success. It was built on thousands of small decisions made when nobody was watching. Every setback became another lesson. Every obstacle forced him to think differently. And every failure pushed him one step closer to building a company that would eventually serve millions of customers around the world. But the story didn't begin in a warehouse. It began inside a tiny neighborhood grocery store. Daniel grew up in a quiet town where opportunities were few and money was always tight. His father repaired old vehicles for a living, while his mother spent long hours running a modest grocery shop that barely earned enough to support the family. Life wasn't easy, but inside that little store, Daniel learned lessons that no business school could ever teach. Every afternoon after school, he helped stock shelves, sweep the floor, and greet customers. At first, he thought he was simply helping his mother. Years later, he realized he had been receiving his very first education in business. He noticed that people didn't always buy the cheapest product. They returned to stores where they felt respected. His mother remembered customers by name, listened patiently to their concerns, and treated everyone with kindness regardless of how much they spent. Watching those simple interactions taught Daniel something powerful. People never forget how you make them feel. That lesson would shape every business decision he made for the rest of his life. As Daniel grew older, another reality became impossible to ignore. His family simply couldn't afford to send him to an expensive university. While some classmates packed their bags for prestigious colleges, Daniel enrolled at a local community college and worked evenings at a supermarket to pay his tuition. The days were exhausting. Classes filled his mornings. Work consumed his evenings. Most nights, he returned home too tired to do anything except study for another hour before falling asleep. Yet while others complained about how little free time they had, Daniel viewed every challenge as preparation for something greater. Whenever he found a spare moment, he buried himself in books about entrepreneurship, leadership, customer psychology, and marketing. He became fascinated by stories of ordinary people who had built extraordinary companies from almost nothing. A question began repeating itself in his mind. If they could build something meaningful, why couldn't I? After graduating, Daniel accepted a comfortable office job at a retail company. It offered stability, a predictable paycheck, and the kind of career many people spend years trying to secure. For a while, everything seemed fine, but every morning felt exactly like the one before. He watched the clock. He completed assignments. He collected his salary. Then he repeated the same routine the next day. Months turned into years, and an uncomfortable thought refused to leave his mind. Was this really the life he wanted? One evening, after another ordinary day at the office, Daniel sat alone in his apartment staring at his notebook. Instead of writing down expenses or work schedules, he began sketching ideas for a business he dreamed of creating one day. That notebook slowly filled with plans, customer ideas, marketing strategies, and product lists. Eventually, the dream became impossible to ignore. Then came the decision that changed everything. At just 25 years old, Daniel resigned from the safest job he had ever had. The reactions were exactly what you'd expect. Some friends laughed. Others warned him he was throwing away his future. Even relatives questioned whether he was making the biggest mistake of his life. Daniel listened carefully to every opinion. Then he made his own decision anyway. With only $8,000 in savings, he rented a small warehouse on the edge of town and launched an online business selling household products. There were no investors waiting to rescue him, no experienced management team, no large advertising budget. The company consisted of exactly one employee, Daniel himself. Every morning began before sunrise. He answered customer emails, packed orders, organized inventory, negotiated with suppliers, updated his website, cleaned the warehouse, and sometimes even delivered products personally to nearby customers. When the work finally ended, he didn't go home to celebrate. He prepared for the next day and hoped more orders would arrive. But reality had different plans. Weeks passed with barely any sales. Some days, the warehouse was completely silent. Daniel refreshed his online dashboard again and again, hoping to see a new order appear. Sometimes nothing happened. Rent still had to be paid. Suppliers still expected payment. The savings account continued shrinking. Late at night, sitting alone among stacks of unsold boxes, Daniel couldn't stop wondering whether everyone else had been right all along. Had he made the biggest mistake of his life? He had every reason to quit. Instead, he chose to ask a different question. What am I missing? That simple question would become the turning point of his entire journey.